You know what? I do want to say one thing else. When I go on these trips and I get the opportunity to do like several reconnections in the same day, like 5. If I do like 5 reconnections in the same day, I can't even tell you what happens to my mind. Like, it's like I'm used to flowing in a stream of certain frequency thoughts. And for some reason, when I do like a bunch of reconnections in one day, and then the next day, and then the next day, man, my stream of thoughts is at a different level. And it's like I'm getting a little dose of what it's like to really have things figured out, like on a totally different level. And so, I mean, if I didn't have such a beautiful family that I love more than life itself, I would just travel and just give sessions all the time, because it's to live in that state of thoughts and frequencies coming through on that level would be incredible. But I love my family, and I like hanging out with my family, and so I don't.
Yeah, it's a hot day. I'm hanging in the sunshine. You should hit me with the splash gun.
Hey, what's going on? It's Case with Everyday Masters. I make a video pretty much every time I go on one of these reconnection tours, so I'm in Canada, so I figured I'd make a video. I didn't record any of my sessions. I probably should have. But yesterday, I had this girl, she's going to college in Toronto, I'm really not sure where, but a young girl, like 22, and she emailed me and she says, do you care if I interview you when you come into town? And I guess she was it was like some kind of podcast, and she was interviewing maybe like healers, spiritual type people, things like that. And so I was like, yeah, sure, come, no problem. So she shows up yesterday, and when she shows up, she's like, I hope it's okay, but I brought my friend, and I brought her boyfriend. He's the skeptic. So is that okay? And I'm like, yeah, sure, come on in. So we come in, and gets the recorder ready, and she starts interviewing me, and it was funny because the Nick, the skeptic guy, cool guy, you know, they're all so young. God, I felt so old, man. Like when he comes walking in, he's got like his pants like pegged, like, you know how you fold them, and I immediately felt so old, because I used to do that like in the early 80s, and anybody that's lived through the 80s realizes that's like the worst fashion sense ever. And I can't believe I've lived long enough that it's back in style. I actually kind of dig it. So when I saw him walk in, it was like this flashback for me. But anyway, I got off subject. So apparently on the way down here, he had a bunch of questions he wanted to ask. And as the podcast, or as the interview went on, I just noticed he was just agreeing. And then when she got done, she was like, do you have any questions for him? And he really didn't. And so I was like, you know, do you guys anybody want a session? Are you like a little 10-minute session? And the girl interviewing me, she's like, like she didn't want to. It's so funny because she's so excited asking me the questions. But then when I was like, you want to check it out? And she's like, I don't think so. So I was like, okay, that's cool. And I go, how about the skeptic? How about Nick? You want to do it? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. So he gets on the table, and I told the girls, I was like, so you can watch for like a minute, and you know, just watch what the registers that I've been talking about, and then just give us like 10 minutes, and let me give him a session without people like staring at him. So I started, and his eyes were moving like most people do, just fluttering. And so, they're like, oh God, yeah, it's really happening. And so then they leave. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm just giving them a session. And then I started noticing, like after like a couple minutes, that his hands started levitating off the table. And if you watch my videos, I just jokingly call them floaters. And some people just float. I don't know why. They just float off the table. Arms or legs. I don't know. It's kind of cool, but I don't know what it means. So anyway, so he starts floating. And I was like, man, they have to see this. And this is what I love about the work with these frequencies, because this is not energy healing. This is like a different thing. This is a different level. Because what happened is once he levitated up, then I knew that I could leave the room, open the door, get in my car, I could drive to the store, I can come back, and he would still be in the session. I mean, I don't know. That's just what happens. So I don't know. I don't really know other energy healings well enough to say that would happen, but this is different. And so I went out and I got the girls and I filmed it. And so this is what he was doing. And needless to say, the girls are just like, wow. And so they're like, you know, what were you feeling? And he was like, I was just laying there, and I was feeling my bones cracking, and I mean, I couldn't hear anybody. I couldn't hear any bones cracking. You know, I don't hear that. But he said he could feel his bones cracking, and he's like, am I touching you know, he knew something was happening, but it was funny because when I tapped him and I go, okay, we're finished, he's like, what the hell was that? So anyway, it was kind of cool. Because I've been doing this long enough that when they came in and she said, he's the skeptic, I kind of know in the grand scheme of things, this was all for him. Not for it being the interviewer, not really. It was for him. And because I can tell you what, he will never forget what happened yesterday. He'll never forget it. I also wanted to say that, you know, I get emails all the time about, I can feel these frequencies. Now what do I do? And I tell everybody the same thing. I go, you should read this dude's book. Read this book and see what you think. And then if you like that book, then read this book. Because if you can feel these frequencies, like, you really should probably read those two books, because it's really the only information I've ever found that exactly describes what's happening. And so, I mean, and people want me to teach them, and it's like, I'm not really a good teacher. I wouldn't even know how to teach somebody how to do this. I mean, it's so easy for me that it is possible to master something and to not be able to teach it to others. Because when I was a golf professional, I was a badass, but I couldn't teach anybody else how to play. I would just overwhelm them with information, and it would short circuit them. And so I'm not really a good teacher. And why would you want to learn from me? Wouldn't you want to learn from the person that taught me? I mean, almost everything I know about these frequencies, I learned from Eric Pearl. And I was very fortunate to be a part of their reconnection team for like 2.5 years and travel with them, because over those 2.5 years, I saw a thing. Like, it allowed me to fully walk in my own mastery. I mean, you know, and I wonder really, did he teach me how to do this? Or did he just remind me who I am? I mean, I just, anyway, so for all you people that are always emailing me about teaching, that's what I always suggest. But Eric emailed me a couple days ago and he let me know that he's doing this live broadcast. I don't think he's ever done this, like a live broadcast during the training program. And so, you know, a lot of people, they feel these frequencies and like, what's next? And like, well, if you want to do this, like, then you should probably go get trained. but then they don't have the money, but they really are into the self-healing. So I think that's what he's going to talk about. I don't know exactly, but I think he's going to talk about self-healing. Anyway, so he's doing like some 2.5 hour live broadcast during the training program. I'm going to check it out because, I don't know, I haven't been to one of his training programs in a few years, and it would be nice just to check in on the guy that, changed my life. And yeah, so anyway, I'll put the links in the description and in the comment section to what his live feed will talk about. But okay, I love you guys, and I will get back to making more videos. I know I say that every time. It's like, why do I keep saying that? Because I've only put out like 2 videos in like 4 months. But I will. Okay, I hope everybody has a happy holiday, and I'll see you. Peace. Oh, monthly tune-up and the upgrade group, if anybody's interested in that, it's on my website. Okay, peace.
If you're